There's been a steady rise in the flow of migrants from the southern border each year, with more than 2.4 million migrants arriving on U.S. soil in 2023. And if that's any indication of what this year will bring, that sustainable solution can't come fast enough. Joining us now to discuss is New York City Council member Joann Ariola and Madison High School parent Tatyana Lerner. Great to have you both here. Tatyana, when did you get word that your child was not going to go to school today and would have to learn remote on Zoom, I'm assuming?
It was in parts. Around 1 o'clock, we knew that the migrants are coming to school, and we were told that they're going to be gone before the school will start today. Around 7 o'clock in the Zoom meeting, the principal of the school informed us that she pushed for the remote learning. We really appreciate her doing that. But there was no remote learning today. No teachers show up.
There was nothing, so school didn't happen.
No. There was a link. Some parents told us that the teachers show up, said good morning, left the instructions and left. My son's first 3 teachers did not even show up to the link, to the Zoom link. So,
Council member,
no,
how is this
nothing.
happening? How is this happening that kids missed school today? Migrants are being given priority over kids whose parents, like Tatyana, work here and pay taxes.
This has been an ill-conceived plan from the moment that migrants were placed at Floyd Bennett Field. We knew that this would happen. We knew that inclement weather would make migrants have to be evacuated. We brought this to the attention of the mayor, the governor, the president, and it just fell on deaf ears. And the removal of 1,900 individuals from a migrant base camp that cannot sustain them because it is dangerous, to a high school where 4,000 students were then they were then disrupted and made to go on to remote learning. And as Tatyana said, there was no learning for those students today. And then at 4 a.m., the migrants were woken up and brought back to Floyd Bennett Field. So those children, I would imagine, did not go to school either. There is no real plan in place. The mayor's office has to stop the influx of migrants into our city because we cannot sustain it anymore.
Yeah, the city is struggling with more than 70,000 people who are currently in homeless shelters, including tents and hotels. The city has now begun evicting migrants who stayed 60 days in those hotels to free up space, and yet migrants continue to arrive every day. This is untenable.
It is untenable. 4,000 migrants arrived last week. Where are they going to go? Before you know it, they're going to be on citizen taxpayer New Yorkers' property. They're going to be putting up tents on their front lawns. There is no more room. We're using our national parks. And we talk about Congress. Thank God for people like Nicole Malliotakis, who's trying to pass good common sense legislation to not use our national parks for migrant base camps, not use our schools for shelters, and to stop the influx at the border. However, Chuck Schumer has not picked up that bill, and we don't have any hope that it'll pass in the Senate.
Tatyana, the migrants were awakened and moved back to the tent shelters at the airfield, and yet we have another storm forecast to arrive here in a couple of days. Those migrants might be evacuated yet again to the school. What is your message on behalf of all the parents of those 4,000 kids who go to school there, who keep getting yanked out of classes to make room for migrants to sleep on the floor?
There is a lot that I have to say. Number one is the migrants arrived in yellow school buses, same buses that were used today to transport other kids to schools. We have no idea the situation with lice, with bedbugs, with COVID, with tuberculosis, with other diseases. Those are the same kids who will come back home and bring them to their parents, to their grandparents, to people who have immune problems, who survived COVID just a few years back, and now we have to face this. We are high school. We're parents of the high school children. The children who need to go to college, we need to be attending school. We need to be taking regencies in February and in June. And if the school constantly gets disrupted because we need to host it as a shelter, they're going to get no learning. I have no idea what this country is facing. We are extremely upset for our kids. We're extremely scared for our kids.
Yeah.
By the way, there was no cleaning today by Zach, who was the deputy director, who promised
Wait, they
on
didn't clean the
Zoom.
school?
Well, the school was cleaned by janitors once again. Thank you to our principal because she took it upon herself to clean the school with the janitors. It was not cleaned by the people who promised us on Zoom. It was promised to 300 parents. Zach, I did not get his last name. He was the security emergency,
Yeah,
head of the
it's
security
called. Yeah.
emergency, who promised that he will personally oversee the clean that the school will be clean. And I said I volunteer myself as a second. I will come with you from class to class, from auditorium to the cafeteria to make sure that there's no needles, that there's no guns, that there's no knives. The migrants did not go through the metal detectors. We have no idea what was brought to
All
school.
right.
And I
Listen,
know that they were checked, but I have no idea how well it was checked.
it is a. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.